Okay, and here's your jumpers run from Saturday. Pretty good there. Oh, good girl. Oh, God, she like nailed the entry too. Okay. Not too bad. Some things I see could be like cleaned up. Okay, so again with the whole lead out thing, because it looks like she's releasing herself and then you're like, oh crap, I have to go. So, okay, you did a okay job of saying, okay, you actually did. You had your outside arm up the stride before. So that was pretty good. But I can tell by how she's taking this, where she's jumping on this jump, like, you know, in relation to like the jump this way. See how she's jumping it here. She didn't know there was a turn. So, so having a little bit farther lead out would help you, because then you could run more towards this jump, but you would be farther ahead, okay? And then you could put up your outside arm like you did. Your timing of that was really good, but at the same time, you could start to pull this way. And that would be like really good to cueing her as to what's coming. But what you did there was pretty good. I mean, you used the outside arm early, but I think you could have used your motion more, if that makes, or your direction of motion more, if you had kind of run more towards this jump and then pulled away sort of dramatically, instead of staying kind of lateral of everything and like making a wide turn. Okay. Zena? Okay. Now this part, let's see. So you got a little too far ahead for trying to do a rear cross, and I don't know if you were planning on doing a rear cross or if you changed your mind on the fly because you didn't think you were far enough ahead to do a blind cross. I don't know. But if you were planning on doing a rear, you should have sort of hugged these two jumps and then made like a 90-degree turn right here so that you wouldn't be ahead. Because you were actually a little too far. See, you're ahead of her. You're like past the plane of this jump and she's not even taking it yet. And now you're like, oh, you almost have to stop and slow down. So I don't know what your plan was there, so I'm not going to be too critical, but just if you were planning on doing the rear, you should have gone all the way in and then turned. And if you were going to do the blind, then you should have done more what you did here, except instead of decelerating here, you just never stopped moving. So you would have had a little bit more rounded arc coming in here. I think you could have done the blind, it looks like, because usually, like, if you have to slow down to do a rear cross, that means you would have had time to do a front cross in general. But you pull that off, and it looks pretty good. And then she does the weave thing, and Okay, and then, okay, so use your outside arm here again. And there's just no reason for it. There is nothing out here, okay? It's just open space. And if anything, you kind of want her to launch out because then she'll probably have a better approach to the next sequence. So when you're walking a chorus, try to think about that, like, yeah, because she has to come out here and go up here. So you don't want her to make this like a really tight turn, so then she ends up having to take this jump like sliced. Okay, does that make sense? So it's okay sometimes to let, you have to look at the line, but it's okay to like let her wing out over here so then she has a better approach to the next two jumps. Okay, if that makes sense. And she just knocked that because you were converging. So you're, right now when she's getting ready to take that jump, you're sort of heading in that direction. And then when she's over the bar, look at you change and you go like that. So that's why she knocked that bar. And you would have been better off just how you are right now, just running directly this way and making her converge on you. Instead of you kind of wow out to give her space and then you go out, and that's what causes her to knock the bar. All right, good job.